Ladies, gentlemen, boxing fans, MMA fans, whatever you call yourself these days, however you exist in our strange fucking multiverse that we have. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back in the building.
My guy.
Get my microphone right.
Yeah, get all situated. I know we kind of just jump right into it, but there is no time to be wasted. And for this conversation, my friend, I need some whiskey.
What you got to do, player?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to pour it up. Click, 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 click. First and foremost, sir, it's been a little bit. Is it a week? I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
But how are you, sir?
Everything's copacetic, man. I can't complain.
Well, that's good, man.
Approaching the date, man. Approaching the date. October 16th.
Oh.
Once again, October 16th. Camden, New Jersey, on the waterfront. We will be erecting a statue of one of the finest products ever produced in this area, New Jersey, or Jersey in general. But yeah,
Jersey in general.
Come out.
That. I'm with that.
Come out. It's gonna be a major event.
Yeah, man.
I'm just gearing up for that.
So
I'm in album mode, man. So I'm doing all right.
Oh shit! So you're busy. You're a busy fella. Well, sir. Outside of album mode, outside of Grandpa, looking forward to that. By the way, I'm very excited for that. It should be fun. I know it's a big deal to you and your family, but it's a big deal it should be a big deal to the state of New Jersey and especially to the city of Camden. So we're all looking forward to that.
No doubt.
But yeah, man, might as well jump into it.
Let's go.
Punch Podcast, episode 52
or 3.
2 or 3. 52 or 3. Whatever. We'll see what happens. I am Johnny Southpaw here with my man Apollo Ali. And we are your favorite boxing podcast. Might as well jump into it. There's really only one place to start, and that is Evander the Real Deal Holyfield.
Oh, you want to start there? Okay, well.
I mean, there's not much that happened, to be honest. There's not.
I mean, we got to talk a few things. But
there's a few things. We've had a longer agenda before. This is not that long of an agenda. So let's start with Evander. You, sir, did you watch the fights?
Bits and pieces of them. Bits and pieces.
What did you see? Did you see the Evander fight? Did you see?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I mean, that fight was a bit and a piece.
Did you see the Tito Ortiz and Anderson Silva fight?
I did.
You did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna.
I
didn't see any of
it. Well, all right. I mean, how you want to start it? Because Silva or Holyfield. I forget the dude name Holyfield fought.
Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say Victor, but
Vitor Belfort. Yeah, it's up to you, man. Wherever you want to start. I am going to light up this fine cigar because it's outside. Last dog days of summer, the final days, and
enjoy yourself, man.
Thanks. Man.
Enjoy yourself. I got a podcast to do here. Holyfield, Victor, Vitor. He was the victor. Where do you start with that? You hate to see it. Holyfield, my nigga. I hate it had to be him, man. But I'm glad that it was against that dude and not
Jake Paul or the Paul.
No, Mike Tyson. I'm glad they didn't go for the three-peat of that rivalry because that version of Evander Holyfield versus this version of Mike Tyson could have been ugly. And I hate to, I mean, their names are married together in history. So that's why that's one of the first thoughts that come to mind. But secondly, it was just bad to see, man. I mean, Holyfield's in great shape. He's stayed in great shape. You know what I mean? Especially for being 58, he's in superb shape, better than us. You know what I mean? But
big facts.
I mean, being in shape, as we know, even in our youth, to especially in your elder age, being in shape has nothing to do. Well, it has something to do, but it's not the primary factor when it comes to boxing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, being in shape is different than being in fight shape, Like,
right.
You can have the physique. There's people who train to show it off, and then there's people who train to use it.
Right.
And I'm sure I'm sure Holyfield trains the way all boxers kind of still do. Old boxer, new boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Older guy,
yeah.
younger guy. They train in
Watered down versions of the circuits that they already were doing their whole life. You know what I mean?
right.
Not
They're
watered down, but lesser. They're not doing it like
it's
to the
not this
extreme.
right. It's not the same. But I'm with you, bro. It was tough to watch. Not that
Bad,
I
man.
watched it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I did see the highlights. I did see. I mean, it was the first fucking round.
Yeah, it was only one round of a fight. I mean, it
Um,
wasn't much you had to watch.
yeah, right. Holyfield did look. I watched some of the training leading up to it, and it didn't look good. He looked slow,
Didn't look
and
impressive.
yeah, he looks his age, bro. He's like 70.
Right, and that's how it has to be said. He looks his age. I mean, we've seen the likes of this before. Warriors, gladiators,
so.
legends of all the way back to Joe Louis, Ali's. They've all done it, man. They've all done it. One fight too many, one outing too minimal one. I mean, yeah, this is past that, but you know what I mean? Stuff maybe not this extreme,
Right.
but we've seen the same result maybe in an earlier year, you know what I mean? But we've seen that same result. Right. Whether it's Ali and Larry Holmes or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I say all that to say,
yeah, you keep getting your shit off because I got some problems.
I say all of that to say, I won't tolerate any Floyd Mayweather disrespect, man. And this is exactly why you can't be mad at my nigga. You got to respect my nigga because he ain't going out like that. We watched the great from across the bridge, across the water over there, man. We watched B-Hop get knocked out the ring by somebody whose name we'll never remember in the sport of boxing.
It's Joe Smith. What do you mean?
I mean, you remember it because it's like John Doe, but you won't remember him from boxing.
Fair.
Outside of that moment, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
B-Hop got knocked out the ring for that. Holyfield got knocked out the ring.
Was it
almost?
Almost.
You know, almost out of the ropes. That's bad enough, man. It's Holyfield, and who are you fighting?
Right. All right. So
he shouldn't be able to have that on his record. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't be able to have that on his jacket. Like, yeah, I punched on Holyfield for a round, knocked him out and shit. I don't care how old he is. You shouldn't be able to have that on his record. You know what I mean? He doesn't deserve that. He's not warranted that. And again, spin it all the way back to my boy. You can't be mad at Floyd, man, because this is the result of when you aren't Floyd Mayweather, you're Evander Holyfield. You're Mike Tyson's. You're whoever. Well, Tyson's got other businesses and stuff that's working for him now. But a lot of these guys, man, end up getting in scenarios where they can talk to you with a couple of dollars. It ain't necessarily life-changing, maybe, but it's what you need at the moment. And you'll get in the ring and do it because you've been doing it all your life and you could use whatever the check is.
Yeah,
you don't want to be left in it. Yeah, and you have no other options. You don't want to be left in that situation, in that position. Man.
We don't necessarily know that to be the fact with Evander, but
speculating.
Right.
There's no other reason for him to tarnish his legacy like that.
A lot of things point that way. I'm with you. I do have a question though. With all of this, with the whole Triller circus, and we're going to get into the rest of the circus, as we move forward. Pod. Yeah. However, I just have one overarching question at this point, and it's really kind of, for me, it sums up the whole thing. I'm going to ask it 4 or 5 more times. Who the fuck are we marketing to? Who the fuck is their target audience?
Triller or just this new spawn, Satan spawn child of combat sports that we watching these days?
Who is Triller's target audience?
Triller.
I'm not asking for an answer. I'm just asking that question in general. Who are we trying to get to tune into this?
Right.
Because before, when we've had these discussions, when we had this discussion about Triller, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, the KSI, the YouTube kids.
Yeah.
It's clear who they're marketing to. They had the Slapfest thing on there.
Right.
Mad artists performing on there.
Yeah.
Mad modern artists. It was clear. It was written out. We knew who they were looking to target. We knew the kids that they were looking, or the generation that they're looking to target and go after, get to buy and subscribe and all of that. With this circus that we have.
Yeah.
Who who are we targeting? Who are we looking at? Really, for me, honestly, I'm asking that question as I'm watching all of this go down, as I'm watching the lead into it with the Trump shit, with the names on the card. I
Yeah,
mean,
right,
because
right,
the names on the card probably don't mean anything to that generation. Who are we? Who are we really targeting? Who is the real audience that they're looking for? I'll
right.
be honest. I don't think.
Overall, I believe it's casuals,
I don't think.
to
But
put it in one word.
that's the thing. I don't think Triller knows the answer to that question. And that for me bothers me because it is like you said, it's a grab. It's a grab for the casual
Yeah, yeah,
fans.
absolutely.
It's a grab for the folks who don't necessarily know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's just it's this for me was the biggest circus that I've seen up until this point. It's gotten bad. It's been bad. It's
Yeah, yeah,
gotten
yeah.
worse. And this is the pinnacle of a circus. The
Well,
pinnacle.
they're playing boxing. This is parody. This is parody combat
Right.
sports.
Right.
So I get that, but it's funny that you say that this was the worst that you've seen, and this is actually one time where we actually going to have to give some credit to the MMA side of things because the MMA guys is the ones who left with knockouts and victories for whatever that's worth. Sure. For whatever that's worth, all you MMA guys, here's to you. Y'all got some wins in your column. You know what I mean? So salute to that.
But that's the thing though, bro. That is the thing. Like I know
Dev Way is somewhere with his head steaming right now.
And
this MMA shit.
And I know my guy Miguel over at Toy Quest, like he's finding a joke about all of this. There's I think everybody is realizing how big of a joke this is, and especially that card. This card bothered me more than every other card because I don't know if you're familiar with Holyfield and how he left the sport and how
Absolutely.
the end of his career was, and that the fact is
he's an icon.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about the darker side of it.
Okay.
Evander Holyfield, towards the tail end of his career, could not get licensed to fight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He could not get licensed in Las Vegas. He could not get licensed in New York. He couldn't get a boxing license to fight anymore because he was not of the physical capability to fight any longer. New York said so, and Nevada said so.
Right.
But of course, what happens when you go to Florida?
Yeah.
All about a money grab. It's all about money. And someone who has no business getting licensed in the sport, got his license, went through the tests, and got it. And we got the product that we saw. The first round knockout, couldn't figure out, he's slow on the uptick. And again, disrespect to Evander. I don't want to disrespect Evander. Evander Holyfield is one of the boxing's greatest fighters.
He's a god. He's a god. But
he doesn't deserve this.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve this, and that's my opinion. And I don't care if you put him in there with Mike Tyson, if you put him in there with Roy Jones, if you put him in there with a boxing great, with an MMA great, it doesn't matter to me. Evander Holyfield has absolutely no business in the ring with no headgear, small gloves, and all getting punched on. It just doesn't.
You gotta be honest, man. He has no business in the ring. But the business that he's doing in the ring is because he has no business outside of the ring. I don't want to say he has no business, but I don't know what he's got going on. But he needed this money bag for whatever reason, and it's a bad look all around the board. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad look.
It was
a bad look.
It was terrible to see. And
again, I want to reiterate the point that you got to respect what Floyd doing, man.
Listen,
you have to see, because you can see the wide range of ways it can go.
There's a difference, though. There's a difference to me.
It's a big difference.
And there's a difference in what you're saying and what we saw. Evander's 70-something years old. Floyd is still doing this past his career, and he's
so that way he don't got to do that at 70-something years old.
Well, you don't know that. I don't.
What you mean? What you mean?
I'm just saying you don't know that Floyd's not 70 yet.
Anything can happen.
What if we see Floyd in the ring at 70 years old, just like we never expected to see Evander Holyfield in the ring again, and now here we are. Him knocked out in the first round. We never expected to see Mike Tyson in the ring again, and now here we are.
I wouldn't say that. I know Mike Tyson was bit by the bug by the way he was talking on Hot Boxing a few times, man. He was definitely thinking about
fair.
it.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm with you there. That's fine. But again, I'm with you. There's just a too big of a generational gap between Floyd and Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. Now I can't.
Yeah, it's about 17 years.
I can't lump them in yet because we don't know. I mean, Floyd does anything for $1, And it doesn't mean that he needs it, but it does mean that he may potentially down the line.
I don't see him doing that.
Hey, who saw
I don't
him
see him
fighting
doing that.
Logan Paul, bro? Who saw him doing that? Who saw him fighting
That's
Conor
what I'm.
McGregor?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. The strategy and pre-planning behind doing something like that, as opposed to
Okay,
getting down the line and scrambling for something to do. Like, fuck, what do I do now? I'm flat broke.
but he's not down the line yet, and that's my point. That's all I'm
Well,
trying to say. I'm with you. I agree.
right.
He's doing it at this age where, like, okay, like he still has a long life ahead of him. He can recover even if he gets hurt, which he.
So what hurts your legacy more, fighting Jake Paul or getting punched out the ropes by whoever?
Both. I mean, neither. Honestly, neither. The right answer is neither. Because do you look at Evander Holyfield like, holy shit, he got beat up on by Vitor Belfort for one round?
I don't look at him like that, but I also don't want to look at him like that.
No one does. But I'm with you. I agree. I don't want to look at him like that. But it is part of his legacy. But that's not that. When I look at Evander Holyfield, everyone thinks of the same thing. Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
that's what everyone thinks of, and I'll continue to, even if
right.
If he died in the ring, God forbid, if he died in the ring the other night and worst possible scenario that you can imagine happened, I'm still remembering Evander Holyfield for his
absolutely for his wars with Tyson. Yeah, no
but
question.
Again, it is something that just why why are we targeting this? Why is this happening? Yes, it was supposed to be Oscar De La Hoya. We all understand.
Well, yeah, that's a factor too.
But Evander was on pace to fight at some point on Triller. So, but again, back to my point, who are we targeting here? Because my 13-year-old doesn't give a shit about Evander Holyfield. He doesn't give a shit about Vitor Belfort. But you know what he tried to tune in for? Logan Paul, Jake Paul.
Of course.
Trying to watch these guys. That's his generation. That's who they were targeting. But now Triller, I feel like, personally, is just lost in the sauce. They're bringing all these old guys back, but for what? For what? They're usually like the stepping stone on the point to get to somebody to that next generation of consumer. And now without that next generation of consumer, the Logan Paul, the Jake Paul, on their roster, what next? I think Triller is personally lost in the sauce. I just feel like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's a free for all over there. It's a circus, and they just throwing paint at the wall at this point, and they just trying things. You know what I mean? Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Well, which one? One of them is the last fight was on Showtime, right? They didn't do it on.
They're on Showtime now,
so they're not even in business with Triller.
Exactly.
And the way they're doing it, they took their circus to the more professional broadcasting platform, and they kind of left the games alone. So yeah, like you said, don't really know what their next move is because nobody cares about the music unless you're there.
Right.
We're not watching the fight for the live performances.
And it's not that crowd though. That's another thing too. That's not the crowd. If you and I remember Holyfield, I remember Vitor Belfort, I remember Anderson Silva.
I definitely remember Silva.
I remember Tito Ortiz. Like I remember watching these guys when I was a kid. To me, it felt like the 30 plus heyday WWF crowd, like the 30 plus year old people who remember watching those guys like Stone Cold and The Rock and all, you know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like. Not to mention on top of that, the circus that goes with it when you have the Trumps involved.
That part I don't get it. I don't understand
9/11? Just don't even get me started, bro.
I mean,
I don't want to make this political. I really don't.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't hear any of Trump's commentary or any if he said anything inflammatory. I didn't hear anything of that. The only
thing I heard about, which was TMZ, they posted it. I think the Shade Room probably posted it. I don't fucking know. But when they were interviewing the fighters. And it was the weigh-in, or the press conference before the weigh-in, or before the after the weigh-in, or whatever. And they were asking the former president, who he would fight. Like if he
I saw that.
That was a big deal because he, whatever.
Yeah, he said he KO Biden first round. And I believe it. And I would watch it. I would watch it.
And Triller would host it because their specialty is 70 plus fighting each other.
You can't be mad at that's true too. But you can't I mean, listen. what Trump did while he was in office definitely changed the perspective of who he is in this world and who you might have presumed him to be in this world. He took it to a whole new level and a further extent. You know what I mean? With the inflammatory statements he would make and the agenda that he pushed. Get all of that, not to make it political. Prior to that, if the presidential whole shit don't exist with Trump, I mean, his legacy in boxing is cemented. I mean, his legacy in Atlantic City, when Atlantic City rivaled, Las Vegas, I dare I say was more important than Las Vegas at the time. You know what I mean? For sure. He was a major part in that. You know what I'm saying? So him being tied to something in boxing post-presidential run or whatever, it's not so far-fetched that you can't imagine it happening.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because he put on some of the biggest fights in the late 80s, early 90s.
I'm with you there, yeah.
It's not that far-fetched.
I agree with you. I think despite my feelings personally, politically about Donald Trump, I do agree with you there. Donald Trump has roots in boxing, which is, facts. that's a separate conversation. And him and Don King and Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, all of that. That's a separate conversation, probably along the same lines of what I would say about his political career. But he does have roots. So I'm with you there. I get how it can make sense. It
ain't far fetched, man. But.
It to me just adds to the just randomness, like you said,
of his celebrity,
like paint thrown at the wall. No, I mean,
okay. Oh, Triller.
Just paint thrown at the wall. You know what? Let's see if we can get Trump thrown in here. Let's get some old guys. Let's get. I
100% could see Trump trying to get in one of these Triller matches, yo.
No,
I could see that.
I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. But listen, I never say never.
You know how many people would pay to see that, whether they want to support Trump or see him get beat the fuck up?
That is true. Hey, look, he
loves playing the hill. Like
he has the Floyd aspect where
he'll turn it on.
He'll
turn it on. Yeah.
But who's fighting the former president? Like I don't even think that's legal. I honestly,
maybe unless you're another president.
Listen,
president on president crime.
All right, fam. Barrio, my guy.
He gonna chip him.
Who? Say what?
Obama would chip. Obama would chip Trump.
Okay. No,
but Trump is from Queens. Don't get him fucked up.
Trump is not from fucking Queens. Don't make it sound like Trump came from
Queensbridge, man. He from Queensbridge, man.
Queensbridge, my dick. Fuck that. Listen,
he owns Queensbridge.
Yeah, exactly.
The bridge.
He's the one who made
no, the actual bridge.
He turned him into projects. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Yeah. Yo, I don't know. That's just crazy though, man. That's crazy.
It just is. At the end of the day, that is my only question. That's my only takeaway.
It's like they're trying to make the Triller app. Here's your answer: the Triller app, the Triller broadcasts, the Triller events that they put on. They're trying to attract the internet. They want it like the internet. Everybody's on the internet.
Clickbait, bro.
Everybody's on the internet. We all know what's going on. We don't have to follow the same accounts, but the shit trickles down to us some fucking form of fashion. We find out the same shit. I know the same shit you know when our timelines look totally different, but we all on the internet.
That's very true.
So that's what their Triller shit is looking like to me. Like it's like the internet. Like why bring Trump outside of the boxing roots that we know? You know what I mean? But Trump hasn't had a microphone since he left office. He hasn't had a place to really get his shit off since he's been out. You know what I'm saying? So bringing him there, that's a like you said, clickbait. It's a buzz factor that's going to immediately make people want to tune in. Now for the fights, just to hear what Trump might say, what he might say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just if he might throw a jab at Biden, just for the Trumpers, they could be like, yeah, fuck Biden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just want that shit in there.
That's fair.
So it's like it really has nothing to do with boxing. It's just
that is
spectacle.
That's the problem with all of it. These guys it's all a conversation around the bigger part of boxing. This is all boxing. We are covering this right now.
We have to.
If it's an MMA fight, it's a different conversation. We're not even having the conversation. We joke about it like, haha, did you see these guys doing an MMA fight? Blah, haha. And then we move on to the next shit. And we talk about the actual fights that happened this past weekend. We're not talking about Triller. We're not talking about this. But because they have 12, 10, 8-ounce gloves on. We're having this fucking conversation. And not to, I don't want to change topics, but that is the overarching thing that I've been realizing over the past couple weeks. And it's the same thing I alluded to 2 episodes ago. Boxing is in a disgusting place right now, bro. And I personally, it makes me a diehard who devoted 10 years to the sport myself. And on top of that, has been a boxing fan since I've been a kid. It just makes me like, holy shit, like this is the end for me. This is the end of boxing. This is the way shit becomes this whole entire different weird fucking spectacle of and shell of what the sport used to be. And
yeah, well, the writing's been on the wall for that. It's definitely not going to be
nothing
what it can't be what it was. It can't be what it was.
And
I mean, it could if the powers that be hear the small cries from voices like ours that everybody is feeling, and if they start feeling that way themselves when they see shit just starting to plummet, because I mean, in at 135 you have the potential to have a Sugar Ray Hearns, you know what I mean, Hands of Stone, you know what I mean. You have the makings of that kind of a melting pot right there if you just make them fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then the drama will play out for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. You don't even have to write the script. The movie's already, you know what I mean? You've seen the movie before. Just remake it. That's what they do in the theaters. Do this shit in real life. All you got to do is make them fight each other. And then these conversations will instantly change our pitch, our tone when we comes to talking about the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and it's crazy to look at where boxing was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, not even a whole decade ago.
It's safe to say the departure of Floyd Mayweather changed everything, man.
It's safe to say that Floyd ruined everything.
No, he didn't, because when he was here, you loved it.
Fam,
you loved it. When he was here, you loved it. Go ahead and lie.
I will go ahead and tell the truth that Floyd,
you loved it.
This is all an offspring of Floyd.
I don't debunk that.
This is all an offspring of getting to the bag, using boxing to get some money, and that's it. This is all the offspring of what happened.
No. You're right. This is the fruit of Floyd.
Fruit. You call this fruit? I don't call this
fruit. It's the fruit because, and it's fruit and only fruit because these offsprings, as you put it, are disconnected from the root, which was hard work, dedication. Way before there was a Money Mayweather. Way before there was they missed that part.
They missed it. I agree.
It was the pursuit of greatness that they missed. It was Pretty Boy Floyd that they missed.
Floyd didn't advertise it. And it's not.
What do you mean? He say hard work, dedication in every fucking 24/7. You see him in the gym. You see him running next to the cars. But you see him running next to the cars.
I'm with you. I'm just saying, Floyd.
He ain't sugarcoat how hard he had to work for that shit.
Everyone's takeaway from that, and it's not. You're right, and there is a version of that I can agree with. That there's a Floyd advertised it, but what everyone else picked up on, which he's not necessarily responsible for, but what everybody else picked up on was, this in the.
I'm only responsible for what I communicate. I'm not responsible for what you comprehend.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
That's on you.
That is on you. I agree.
Hard work, dedication was the chant, was the theme, and anybody with a brain and two eyes that breathes oxygen, they know shit don't come overnight. Shit don't come out of magic. But it takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes consistency.
That's all part of the society that we live in today, the microwave generation.
Right. And that's not all Floyd's fault.
No, that's fair. And go back to episode 5. I think we titled that Microwave Generation or something like that, where we discussed the same exact thing. But we're here, we're covering it. So shout out to Anderson Silva. Toast to you, sir.
Anderson Silva look good.
First of all, Anderson Silva, I've always said can box. He's always been one of my favorite MMA
fighters.
He's
one of the guys that I was actually familiar with, like, from his MMA career. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So seeing him in the ring, that was dope. And seeing him actually get up out of there with the right hook was off the ropes was beautiful.
Absolutely.
That was beautiful.
He did what he was supposed to do. He actually boxed. It was beautiful. It was nice.
And he looked good. Like, he had some form with him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
I definitely respect that and I salute that, for the MMA community. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That one counts. The Holyfield one, I mean, he'll hang his hat on it, but
It
come
is
on,
what, yeah, no, it is
come
what it
on.
is. Vitor Belfort, I will say, and again, shout out to Anderson Silva, but Vitor Belfort and Anderson Silva both called out Paul brothers.
Before we get to that, though, because
You
also
got
on that,
more?
yeah, just on the heavyweight division and in this whole Triller sphere kind of community
Oh,
thing,
David Hay.
David Hay
Mm-hmm.
snuck in there and got a victory. And now he wants to call out,
He wants real fighters.
but no, he doesn't. Fucking in a realm where this Triller sphere could make these fights happen and they would make sense there. David Hay and Holyfield both have been, Mike Tyson as well. All of them have been being stalked. Klitschko as well, stalked. Anthony Joshua as well, stalked. They've all been being stalked by Shannon the Cannon Briggs, who is dying for a fight, who is hunting heavyweights down across the globe and invading their training camps.
Fam.
One word.
There's
Chad. 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 Let's go, Chad. And heavyweights are running and trembling in fear every time Shannon the Cannon Briggs walks into the gym. The most knockouts in the first round.
If there
in history.
If there's a person who treads that Triller real fighter line that I would enjoy watching talk shit, I would enjoy watching.
Come on, man.
Because I know his cloth that he's cut from. I know Shannon is about that for real. I know he, you know what I mean? I remember Shannon the Cannon.
Shannon the fucking Cannon, man.
I would love to see that. He belongs with Triller. He belongs with
Absolutely. But they run it from me. They run it from him. David Hay don't want no smoke. He act like Shannon the Cannon don't exist. Fucking Holyfield, I thank God he ain't take the fight because Shannon just recently ran down on him and was begging him for a fight, and Holyfield wouldn't even open his mouth to speak. I'm glad he didn't because he's the first round knockout artist as it is, and Holyfield got knocked out in the first round by Victor, whoever the fuck. So I don't want to see that happen. He wants Vitor. He whatever. But Shannon wants Tyson. He wants David Hay. He wants Anthony Joshua. He wants all of them. He wants anybody. And they running from me. They running scared from me, man. And I guess they should be. You know what I'm saying? Because Shannon is still formidable enough. And all it takes is one.
He is. So, I agree. He is. But you know who I miss? Shakur Stevenson. You know who I miss?
Yeah, absolutely. He's on his way. On his way.
Gary Russell Jr.
Shakur's on his way.
I miss
my boy Gary Russell, man. They're not giving him enough shine. He still ain't where he need to be at.
I miss seeing even Tevin.
They scared of him too, though.
And I don't like Tevin.
They blocking him.
I miss Tevin.
I don't know what Tevin's doing. I don't think Tevin misses us. I don't know what Tevin's doing. Tevin is out here living life, man.
I miss
salute to that though.
I miss fighters, man. I miss, not to say Shannon the Cannon is not a fighter.
No, I get it. I'm just talking about in this Triller sphere, where things can get interesting if you do the right things. This is a guy clearly ready and willing to fight and dying to make a fight with all of these guys who's talking this big shit in front of these Triller cameras, like they want to do these fights and these exhibitions and all that shit, but they no dude that's calling them out and they running from that. So, you gotta make shed light on that. You know what I'm saying?
I respect that. I respect Shannon.
Shannon been trying to get a fight for 3-4 years, man.
He deserves a fight with one of these guys.
Sidebar though, that's all.
Sidebar. No, I'm with you. I agree. He deserves a fight on Triller. He deserves the bag being offered to him. Triller, if you don't know who Shannon the Cannon is, because maybe Shannon Briggs isn't as big of a name as Vitor Belfort or Evander Holyfield, go do your research. Listen,
yeah, it's not that hard, man.
Put the analytics aside. Go do your research. Go do real boxing research. There's guys that are in shape, that are young enough that people will remember from boxing, and that will grip that crowd, that young crowd, enough. Like, oh, this they call it a troll these days.
Shannon the Cannon will have a second life if they ever let him in.
Absolutely.
Especially in that Triller sphere, he'll have a second life.
Absolutely,
a whole second act, man.
There's a whole bunch of guys that had to hang them up because boxing was not kind to them, that are still viable, they're still good, and they will still put on a good ass performance.
Right.
What they just did with the 70-something-year-old Mayweather, Jesus, 70-something-year-old
He's
Holyfield.
58. He's 58. He's 58. But
Okay,
still,
my bad. It felt like 70.
Yeah.
50-something-year-old Holyfield.
If he still looked like that at 70, he ain't human.
Yeah, fair enough. Touche. But yeah, so they both called out. So to rope it back in, we have Vitor Belfort and Anderson Silva calling out the Paul brothers. I don't know if those fights happen. We'll see. Never say never with Triller. That's basically the moral of the story. You just never know. They'll probably fight each other and then, go from there. Back to real boxing. I know no one gives a shit about real boxing anymore, and I feel like boxing doesn't give a shit about boxing anymore.
That's the fact.
I'm gonna just come out and say it. I think that the Canelo camp is probably dirty, and I don't want to speculate about our guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that Andy Ruiz is part of that. I don't want to rope everybody in, but now there's two people that got dinged in that same camp. And what's happening there, and the WBC looking past it, the athletic commissions looking past it, is gross. It's nasty. It's unacceptable, and it keeps being an issue in boxing. I have personally never seen this many fighters this vocal about how dirty boxing is. I've never seen it. I've never seen all the young bucks, Plant, Haney, Shakur, keep naming names. I've never seen everybody speak out at the same time like, yo, this is fucked up.
Right.
And so for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure if you don't know, you're probably not watching our podcast because you probably don't give a shit about boxing. But Jojo Diaz got dinged twice on the A and the B test from VADA. Or USADA, was it USADA or VADA? One of the testing bodies tested him, and they found dirty samples for both of him for PEDs. I'm not exactly sure what the PEDs he got caught with were. I've heard two different versions of it, but either way, you got caught twice, two blood samples.
Yeah, it's there.
What are we talking about?
It's there. What you want me to say, man? I'm a fan of Floyd Mayweather, the cleanest fighter in boxing. You know. I really could care less.
Floyd got an IV and he got in trouble for it. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I've heard that speculation.
I recently found that.
I've heard that. I've heard the alleged allegations.
Now they're alleged. You see how You see how they're alleged when it comes to Floyd? I just want to point that out.
Yeah, he got in trouble for an IV. Alleged allegations. I've heard.
I actually didn't remember that.
Do you remember what fight it was for?
No.
Exactly, because it wasn't none of them that was important.
I'm just saying. I didn't know. I had no idea. But either way, is the Canelo camp dirty, in your opinion?
I mean, fool me once, shame on however you go. However that saying goes.
Shame on me.
Shame on you.
No, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, that shit. So, I mean, that's what they got going on over there, man. Viva Mexico.
I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't want to say Andy Ruiz. I don't want to say Ryan Garcia. And I already am not, I'm not the hugest fan of Ryan Garcia, but I don't want to say those guys are automatically dirty. But
birds of a feather get dirty together, man. That's all I can tell you.
All I'm going to say is Roger Clemens and Roger Clemens and Alex Rodriguez.
All right.
Both on the Yankees, both trained the same Balco, whatever the fuck it was. And
both chasing greatness.
I'm just saying they were both on the same team. Jose Canseco is he's a snitch, but it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, man. I mean, we know performance enhancement drugs is been around since, forever. And their primary use would be for professional athletes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not far-fetched to think that there are camps that utilize these sorts of things and in common practice, especially at the level that we're talking about, the Canelo level, the Andy Ruiz level, trying to,
retain greatness of some sort,
steal a heavyweight title. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like, who fucking knows?
Look,
it's quite possible I'm not shocked by that news. I'm not surprised by it. I mean, shit, we just had the other fights that happened Friday.
That was the JoJo Diaz fight.
Right. No, not JoJo Diaz.
Or no, not JoJo Diaz.
What you came? Valdez? Was that Oscar Valdez?
Valdez.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I said JoJo Diaz.
You did say JoJo Diaz.
Oh shit, my bad.
Oscar Valdez. JoJo, no mean to put that smut on your name, man.
Yeah, no smut on JoJo Diaz's name. Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez. My bad.
We just had that. We just had that going.
Please forgive me.
But look, this is what's so crazy though. Like we've been saying since the beginning of the pod, the boxing is in this downward spiral. This plummet at the moment, and it's just a haywire spectacle. Everything's helter skelter. So with all that being said, I'm kind of glad that the fight still happened because shit, all the fights that we want to see, everything's getting canceled.
So Boots fight just got canceled with
that's what I'm saying.
Brandon Figueroa. He got COVID. I can't. I can't take it anymore. Honestly,
I gotta holler at somebody about that too. So I might have inside information on that.
Let me know
on how Boots got COVID. So I gotta holler at somebody, man.
Boots ain't get COVID. It was
he ain't get it.
His opponent. Boots.
All right.
He been outside, but not outside like that.
He was outside. Yeah. Okay.
Nah.
All right.
Boots is good. Don't put that smut on Boots' name.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, man. Let's see. There another example. Like the fights are being canceled left and right. So, little PED, man, fucking let them fight. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. I want to see something. God damn. At this point, PEDs, COVID is worse than PEDs. So shit. Let's fucking just do it. You know what I'm saying? You can fight, right? You good. Fuck them PEDs.
It's just so dirty, bro. This sport is disgustingly dirty.
Juice everybody.
Fam,
give everybody the jab.
That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. We should make a league or whatever, a version of boxing where just everybody's on PEDs. Fuck it. Who cares? Half of y'all are already on steroids or HGH or whatever human growth testosterone bullshit y'all already on. Whatever shit y'all using to cover up that shit, you getting dinged for that too. It just make a whole entire championship just for that. If boxing has so many fucking titles, let's make the PED title. The WBC PED title.
That could be the franchise joint. Because that shit ain't worth shit anyway.
Half of these belts. Again, this is just the sport of boxing. It's disgusting. And honestly, bro, like watching that and like, okay, cool. He got dinged. First sample, second sample. All right, this fight's off. And then the commission says,
no, all he had to say was, I don't know how that got in my body.
It was tea. It was a tea. I was drinking tea. It was tea.
It's like, I honestly don't know. He said some bullshit. Like, what? I mean, hey, man, what do you do? What do you just be like? I was taking performance enhancement drugs, y'all.
Big Baby did.
True.
Yo,
and because he did that, he lost an opportunity to go steal a heavyweight title. He should have just got caught and kept his mouth shut, and he'd have been Andy Ruiz.
Not for nothing, but I honestly respect Big Baby Miller a little bit more for being like, yo, I fucked up. Bad.
I mean, of course.
And Oscar Valdez, who's like, nah, that wasn't me. I didn't do it. I was drinking tea. It wasn't me. I just had some tea.
You know what was crazy? The craziest.
Drinking coffee.
You know what was crazy about it? The craziest part was that he did 2 videos for his Instagram to explain that shit. He did one in English, then he did one in Spanish. But he had the same monotone voice, the same stupid face.
Full of shit.
Trying to explain. Yeah. It was like, ready and go. And he just started telling this, you know what I mean? Giving his excuse and shit. That shit was crazy.
There's some nasty bullshit going on in boxing, and it continues to go on, and it just happens and happens. And honestly, bro, we just lost a fighter last weekend.
Yeah.
That poor girl who was 18 years old died from her injuries in the ring, and these motherfuckers out here on PEDs, on like juicing and all of that shit. That shit is nasty, bro.
Right.
Boxing is not baseball. You don't need to hit a ball out of the fucking park. You don't need to hit harder. You don't need to run faster. You need to punch a motherfucker in his face harder. It's different, bro. That's why.
Yeah, I just saw a statistic. It said about at least 13 boxers a year die, which is ridiculous because there's no other combat sport where there's a statistic that high.
No other sport. Maybe rugby might be, serious injuries. Football might be serious injuries, long term and all that
Right,
shit.
right.
It's not long term in boxing. It is long term in boxing, but it's also
Yeah,
short term too. Because
right,
motherfuckers die 13 motherfuckers die a year in boxing.
right.
It felt like last year we saw a couple more than that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was going down. It was going down.
I mean, you look at shit like this, and I think of I think back, or I think to Pritchard Cologne.
Mm,
Pritchard is a completely different human being at this point.
yeah,
Not just a different man. His brain was altered, and the man is in, fighting to remember how to speak.
yeah,
His eyes are glossed over all the
yeah,
time. He
yeah.
lives in a wheelchair.
A
His
shell
mom,
of himself
exactly, and it's
at that young
disgusting.
age. Yeah.
It's disgusting to see dudes in the sport.
And if that was inflicted upon him by, a fighter who was potentially 30,
Right.
it's like, what are we doing here?
It's
That's
nasty, bro.
that's
Boxing is an alien sport. It is fucking weird, bro.
Well, I mean, when you see, that's where it just gets like, it's just the rabbit hole is never ending, because it's like when you really deal with that, the science of that and what it actually is, the hurt business, and you can't play boxing and this, that, and the third. These is all facts. These is all truths. These are all oaths that we take, and even engaging in the sport.
Yeah.
Seriously. But at the same time, it's like,
I honestly
that also makes you. That also make no. Let me finish this. That also makes you kind of be on the fence about actually playing boxing and the safety of doing what they doing, but not quite doing what they doing, and still getting paid and putting on a show. And half of these people don't know shit about boxing anyway. In the words of the great Floyd Mayweather Sr. and his uncle, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know shit about boxing anyway. So what's the point? And that's like fucking rapping like Eminem when all they want to hear is Lil Baby anyway.
Facts.
Like, what the fuck? What am I going to wreck my brain to try to give you a Nas reverse a story backwards when y'all don't? All y'all want to hear is Lil Von's story, King Von's story. Y'all like the way he told the story.
Right.
It's no comparison, no disrespect, but I mean, it's like, why do this when you can just simply do that?
Yep.
And easily do that, because we all can do that. That's hard to do, and it come with a lot more shit. So why, you know what I mean? It kind of make you look at it like, damn, is playing boxing so bad? At least you ain't going to leave out of here paralyzed.
I mean, that's not guaranteed.
Potentially, you know what I mean? Yeah, potentially. You know what I mean? May the odds forever be in your favor.
Yeah, they do a little bit more to protect those guys, I feel like,
Right.
But yeah, bro. So I mean, Oscar Valdez, not Jojo Diaz. Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, you fucked up.
He did get the W by majority.
And I'm not sure if I even agree with that.
No, it was a tough fight for him.
PEDs or not, like, it wasn't an easy fight.
It was a tough fight for him. The kid doesn't know much defense.
Right.
He's not like the rest of his stable mates, which, well, actually, I feel like there's only one person in that camp that actually knows defense. Andy Ruiz, not big on defense. Ryan Garcia, not big on defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, Canelo's the only alien in that.
His defense is definitely upgraded over the years.
And again, I think that's that comes from Floyd. Shout out to your boy. I know, Hardy.
You finally talking some sense on this joint,
I'm just saying. I've already established that.
Appreciate you for saying that.
But I don't think it's necessarily a guarantee that he won. I know there was a lot of other people that saw that 117-110 score. Like,
yeah.
So honestly, I have not much else to say on Oscar Valdez. That bullshit. I don't respect.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah,
it is what it is. At this point, it's so much bad news in boxing. We got to pick through that and find something to champion. Side note, I don't know if you had this on the docket, but did you see that Amanda Serrano's trainer was suspended or whatever he's got going on for his actions at the fight?
Yeah. So I think it was Ohio that suspended. Somebody suspended him. I did see that.
Now, this is what I want to say about that. Was he excessive? Absolutely, he was excessive. You know what I mean? He was overly talking shit from his corner.
Right.
But I can't help but beg the question, if they were male fighters, would that have mattered that much?
That's a good question. That's a fair question.
I don't think it would have mattered that much. I don't think what he did was something that we've never seen in combat sports. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? We talk shit from the corners all the time. Trainers end up getting in the rings themselves and fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the bickering back and forth from the corners. So what he did and you know popping his shit the way he did, I mean, yes, it was excessive, but I'm not necessarily sure that, like I said, if they were male fighters, would that have been taken that serious, or would it have even been considered of a thought long enough to even think about suspending him for it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
about that.
I would agree with you there. I think I didn't think about it that way. I just thought about it for the context that it was in. If he was male fighters, we've seen guys, uh, you know, charge people. We've seen guys get into brawl, like the that Zab Judah and
Yep.
Floyd Mayweather fight. You know,
Yep.
we've seen a lot of guys, and sure, there was maybe suspensions in that time or whatever have you, but they actually came to blows. It wasn't just words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I
Finish
don't
the
know.
fight.
Is it the right thing to do in this climate that we live in? Absolutely. Is it different than what we've seen in boxing on a regular basis? Yes. It's different from I say it's different that the suspension thing for,
Yeah.
for words only.
For words.
You hurt somebody's feelings. You were a dickhead, which he was. He absolutely was.
I mean, he was. I mean, I definitely don't like seeing a man of that stature talking to a female in that way, regardless if she's got gloves on or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do understand that from a trainer's perspective, you may or may not, which again, we've also, I don't know if we speculated on here, but I believe we was having a conversation about the relationship between him and both of the Serrano sisters and what that may look like. I don't know what's going on. He might like that could have been signs of the temper that he has behind closed doors with them and reasons why they don't have boyfriends and never have boyfriends. He's married to one, the other one can't have boyfriends, and they do is work with him all day and train. We don't know. That could have been some of his toxic masculinity coming out. You know, that's the trigger word that they like to use now. Possibly,
no, but it's facts. It's facts.
Possibly, it could possibly have been that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I also, and this is not to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm saying also as being in the position of a trainer, I do understand how a trainer and fighter relationship is not contingent upon a relationship or a male and female relationship.
Yeah,
it is trainer and fighter.
It's different. It's different. There is nothing,
and it's not under the scope of but she's a girl. It's not under the scope of but she's my girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we are here at war, it is trainer and fighter.
Right.
So with that being said, I don't know. You know,
I think I can only relate it to one other sport that I've ever seen, and it's tennis. And it may be kind of odd to think that, but like tennis and boxing,
it's another one of them where you got to go out there and it's mano y mano, and you got to handle your business.
Right, yeah. Exactly. It's one-on-one type thing, and I know tennis coaches are a lot more behind the scenes, but tennis coaches can be very rough on tennis folks, male or female. You know what I mean? I've heard stories from men and women, both in tennis, that are just, you know, you have some rough coaching. So and that's it's a lot of correlation between the two, but there's no other sport other than those two on the planet, I think, that have that relationship that is
one-on-one like that.
Yeah, there's not really a way to describe it, bro. I mean, I can think.
So, I mean, football coaches talk to you like you're a piece of shit anyway, but it's a whole team. And everybody understands the culture and the camaraderie. And when we fucking up, this is how we get talked to. This is how we get treated,
everybody gets talked to like that. You're not getting, you don't, you know what I mean?
It's different.
You're not being singled out necessarily. But in boxing or in tennis, one-on-one sport, you are being singled out.
It's a different thing. Yeah. It's a different thing. Especially seeing a man and a woman talking to each other that way.
Which
just them by themselves.
Right.
That optic, it you know, especially in today's climate, it could have, you know, a lot of different blowbacks. I mean, like we just brought up the Christy Martin doc a few eps ago, and you know, it could get. I don't want to see that happen to anybody. I was sorry to even learn that that's how her story went, because I didn't know all of that. But things of that nature could, you know what I mean? Because as much as we say what we saying about the fighter and trainer relationship, you know, once they leave the ring, if you guys is, you know, romantically involved and he got a temper like that, it's not no telling what you're dealing with. So
Right. Exactly.
I don't want to speculate too far on that, but just I didn't think the suspension was necessarily fair, but I also didn't like what I saw either. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, it all kind of it makes sense. I mean, again, in today's climate, it makes sense. I can
Right.
get it. I can get there. You know what I mean? But yeah. What else we got? Oh, Conor McGregor got into it with Machine.
Yeah,
Gun
he wants to
Kelly.
fight Machine Gun Kelly, so I guess that's gonna be the next Triller situation.
What is happening, bro? What is happening?
Hey,
The lines are all blurred. Their fighters are not. What happened to the days when like fighters were like
revered,
majestic,
respected. Yeah, yeah.
revered?
Like you didn't even want them to lift their hand out of their pocket to shake yours
I miss
because
that.
their hands were so lethal. You know what I mean? You just wanted to wave from afar and shit.
I miss
Get them to
those
do.
days.
You know what I'm saying? A little picture, maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Now
Exactly.
you fucking talking shit, fucking acting tough. Like what? Like you acting like you can fight, like the fighter. It's all type of shit going on.
Everybody thinks they can fight. Even
Yeah.
Lil Uzi. Even Uzi. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
leaving that there.
well, I'm like I said, for what it's worth, he looks better in the gym than Meek did, and also for what it's worth, probably would be better to, if you were going to get into boxing, be in the Little Uzi weight class as opposed to the Meek Mill weight class, especially if your skills look like that.
That motherfucker's gonna throw 1,000 punches an hour. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, that's fine. But like I know, you could throw 1,000 punches and you could be getting bit by mosquitoes, or you could be hit by a fucking Mack truck.
Yep.
You pick.
Facts. Big facts. Big facts. But yeah, man, that's all I got. I don't have much else. I'm not happy where boxing is at right now, but I am looking forward to the future. I'm hoping.
Well, I mean, we can't
Wilder.
We can't even
And
honestly do that. We can't honestly.
That fight has to happen. If Fury Wilder doesn't happen, we're not going to have a podcast the rest of the fucking year because what the fuck else is there?
I mean, they've already been postponed once, so hopefully, hopefully it's going to go. But we got that. We got the Teofimo fight coming up.
Teofimo. Oh, also, I tried to find tickets for that, and
I can't find none. I can't find any.
They're not findable. I've been looking and looking.
I don't know what the fuck's up with that.
They're fighting in the theater, so it is the smaller venue. That fight is coming up. It's been moved again, but it got moved up this time by one day. So it's October 4th. So we're right around the corner, bro. We are right there. It's on
it's coming.
Tuesday? It's on a Monday. No, it's it got
a Monday or a Tuesday.
It got moved from Tuesday to Monday. So I think Tuesday was the 5th and Monday is the 4th. They're fighting on the 4th now. This fight has been moved around more than fucking chess pieces. I don't understand what's going on.
Well, I think Tuesdays are versus nights now, so I don't think they can.
So is this this fight is on Triller, right?
Is it?
I think so.
Well, that could explain why it got moved from Tuesday to Monday because Tuesdays are versus world.
It's not a holiday.
Tomorrow we got Fat Joe and Ja Rule.
Is that tomorrow?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is there a fight before that, or is it just the?
I don't know, but I mean that's how they did it with the last one, but I'm not sure what they got shaken for this.
Who you got?
But for that, Joe. I got Joe.
I'm with you.
But I feel like we'll all be reminded. As long as Ja Rule doesn't do anything to
embarrass himself,
make himself a meme and a parody, like if you don't like. I just don't want him to do no call and response shit. Like, I feel like the crowd is going to purposely not respond just to make it an awkward moment for him. As long as he don't do that, like, no, what's my name? And that's what you're going to hear. Crickets like that. I don't want that to happen for my boy. I don't want that to happen. I just want him to rock out with the hits, maybe do old Jay-Z and DMX features he's got.
Oh, that'd be nice. I love that song. So,
I mean, he's a formidable opponent. You can't discredit the hits, but I'm rolling with Joe.
Yeah, I don't think anybody beats Fat Joe
because Joe got a lot of shit that you forget too.
Exactly. Joe's catalog is I think the only person that can take on Joe realistically is Busta Rhymes, but
Busta would probably smoke him.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's not it.
Hits.
If Ross didn't go yet, Ross could go with Joe. Not saying he'd win, but he's formidable.
Yeah, he could compete. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
Look, now we're talking about versus.
Yeah, now we're talking about versus because there's nothing to talk about in boxing because we watched Evander Holyfield, one of the greatest fighters of all time, get beat the fuck up on, and
Get punched into a hole in the field. That's what we watched.
See, my problem with all of this is
Damn, that joke didn't fly.
I didn't say it. Go ahead, do it again. My bad.
No, that's cool.
I missed it. I missed it.
Fuck
I'll click it back again.
Fuck it.
Nah. So like this is the problem for me is it's a lot like hip hop. And we always relate shit to hip hop here. That's what we do. I said that on our first episode, which I went back and listened to. We sounded great. We sounded young. We sounded hungry. We sounded hopeful. And now, whatever. We're
hot take. You might not like it. It's absolutely a lot like hip hop. It's absolutely correlated and the exact same. You want to know why? I think why.
I'm scared here. I'm wondering. I'm letting you cook. I'm letting you. I mean,
because
go ahead.
I mean, hey, when the fact of the matter is, when you water it down from its original roots, and you water it down from not only the original roots but the scientific heights and levels that we take it to, you water it down so everybody else can have a turn. You water it down so everybody else can play. Because we take it to elite levels. And you and I know what I mean by we.
Yeah.
So let's just chill because everybody else can play now. You know what I mean? If we change the rules, and y'all can't be the best. Because we don't even care about that no more. We moved the goalpost.
That's fair. That is very fair.
Now we can be Logan and Jake Paul and just come in here and run the sport.
Ugh.
Alongside a Floyd Mayweather.
So gross.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so gross.
Move the goalpost so everybody could play. Lower the rim. You know, regulation is 10 feet. Remember when you fucking bring it down to like 6 foot so you could have a little dunk contest when you were like middle school and shit?
I just did that for my son today. We lowered
shit like that. Y'all lowered the regulation, man, so everybody can play. So it's absolutely like hip hop because that's what they did to the art form, and that's what they are now doing to boxing. I hate to see what they infest and put their cancer into next.
Facts. I don't got nothing else. I'm gonna leave it on that. That's the name of the episode.
Fuck it.
Do you have a walkout, sir?
Yes, sir, I do. Well, you know, they say always remember 9/11, and I do. And commending them all. You know, a salute to everybody that, you know, serves the country. Rest in peace to everybody, and condolences to everybody that lost somebody in 9/11. But I don't only remember 9/11 for 9/11.
We're both good.
I remember 9/11 also for the album that helped shape my formative years, The Blueprint.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna go with You Don't Know by Jay-Z.
That was the song I was gonna use.
Yeah, well, you're not now.
Fine.
That's what I'd walk out to.
Yes, sir.
Turn my music high. What? Let's just end it now because you might as well not even pick nothing after that.
I feel like I shouldn't, but for aesthetics purposes, I feel like I have to. God. All right, man. I'm with you in that same vein. Yes, rest in peace to everyone in this country who lost their life on 9/11. We remember it. I remember where I was. I'm sure everyone here remembers where they were on 9/11. But
yes, sir.
In remembrance of that, and in remembrance of, once again, same shit. You say that you took all the words out of my mouth. 9/11 also brings back 20 years ago the Blueprint drop, bro. So I got to be honest. You Don't Know was going to be my track that I was going to pick.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
it's only one other place to go.
There's a few other places to go. I was going to go Lyrical Exercise, but I am going to go with, I'm going to throw a curveball and go with Takeover.
That works.
Just because the moment that was.
That works.
I will never forget the first time I heard that.
That works. Yeah. That works.
So let's get it. Takeover. The break's over. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Phantom Punch Podcast.
Good dose of Jay-Z right there. Good dose of quintessential Hove right there. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
And so what I constantly related to, what I was gonna say is, and I know I don't want to go on a spiel. This is my last little bit here. This is the way that I think that boxing is now, is the way that hip hop is now, because the way that you and I look at the blueprint is
Yeah.
not the way that the young bucks look at the blueprint.
Yeah, you have no idea.
They
You
have no
just you
idea.
weren't there. You don't know the impact. You don't know what it
Exactly.
looked like to see Roy Jones doing moves you never seen on TV in the ring. You don't know what that looked like when
No.
it's happening. When
When
he's doing
that's
these,
that's
you
what
know what I mean?
everybody's watching. That's what everybody's tuned into.
Yeah, the whole world.
We had
Yep.
fight parties, and it was actual fighters, not
Yeah, yeah.
Logan Paul and all of these motherfuckers out here.
It's
So
only one conversation at the water cooler.
Yep.
It's about the apex predators, not the
Facts.
pretend predators. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So yeah, it's
Facts.
different, man. But till next time, man. Salute to every fighter that enters the ring, man. You know, boxing is the hurt business or the play business, depending on what side of the fence you on. Either way, we love it. If you wear these gloves or any kind like that, maybe not necessarily that brand, we are tuned in, we paying attention, and we're gonna cover it. So we catch y'all next week. See y'all soon. Hopefully, all the fights that are supposed to come up do come up. My dog is wild, and I'm about to go handle her. See y'all next week, man. Peace.
Peace.